Hello everyone! In today's video we're gonna turn this broken Samsung phone into a small HDMI display. But before we begin, a word from our sponsor, PCBWay. Do you need expert help with your PCB design? PCBWay's design service provides professional schematic design, PCB layout and optimization to ensure your project is a success. PCBWay professional design team are ready to help you with your project, as well as PCB design and layout, firmware development, software development, algorithm development, as well as 3D printing and enclosure design. Check out PCBWay, link down in the description below. So I've got this Samsung J7, the 2017 model, which has a broken screen basically here, but it doesn't seem to affect the functionality nor the touch of the phone. So the touchscreen is working really good. The only thing is that there's this basically a cosmetic thing. Also it has this blue case which can stand like this, and also I have this is an USB to HDMI capture card, and basically if I connect this is a USB OTG adapter that will turn the micro HDMI micro USB port into a normal USB type A. So if I will connect this one to this, basically it will turn my phone into a small HDMI display. Now you see this color line because there is nothing connected to the HDMI input. But if I will connect my laptop, so let's connect the laptop HDMI. We can see the screen of my laptop appeared on the phone. So this is I think this is something very practical, but what I want to do now in this video, I want to incorporate this USB capture card inside the phone. So basically I don't need to carry the adapter and this one. I want to have everything in a nice case. Also, I would like to keep this blue case just because of this stand that I can put it like this, and I can use it as a small HDMI screen for maybe for a Raspberry Pi project or for anything. Basically you can connect PlayStation to it, you can connect anything that has HDMI, and having such a small HDMI display with a nice resolution and a Super AMOLED screen, by the way, I think it's very practical. So let's get started at first by disassembling the phone. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to connect the USB adapter and I'm going to disassemble this capture card, which is quite easy to disassemble. So let's connect the card to the adapter, and I'm going to now measure the pins from there with the pins from here, because I'm going to remove this big connector, and I'm going to solder some wires from here directly to here. I will also put a switch that will activate the USB host mode, so I can also charge the phone when I don't use the HDMI capture card. So let's do some measurements. So after measuring and determining the pinouts, I came up with this wiring, and now let's solder the wires. Some of you have asked me in the comments, where do I get that thin wire that I always use? Well, recently I had to change one of my appliances in the kitchen, but before throwing it away I decided to open it up and take off the power adapter, the transformer, out of it. So basically this is the coil, and this is the iron that it's in the middle of the coil. So basically this is the very thin wire. You can see this was a 220 volts 50 hertz adapter. So we take this apart because we no longer need this band, and there we go. This is the wire that we are going to use in this project. So I cut 5 wires out of that coil. Now this wire has a coating which prevents it to create short circuits. What I'm going to do, I'm going to now remove only the top part of the wire, the coating, and the other side also, in order to be able to solder these wires. So I put some, I soldered the end of the wires, and now let's try to solder them here. So I think I'm going to have to use my camera as a magnifier, because the size is really small here. So let's try to solder the plus at first, which is this one. So after some struggle I managed to solder all the wires, and now we're gonna fix them in place with a drop of hot glue. Now let's remove this socket here from the capture card, and then we're gonna solder them exactly in this position. We're gonna solder the wires there. In order to make it easier to remove, I'm gonna use this extractor to remove the excess solder. With the USB now removed, we can proceed to solder the wires from the motherboard. But before, I will put them to the case because I have to reassemble the phone. So I'll cross with them one by one. So we start with the plus, like this. Now let's reassemble the phone. And now we'll give it a quick test. Now, in the moment that I will connect this wire to the ground, to any pin of the capture card, it should launch the app. Let's see. And yes, there we go. We got the color line that tells us that, yeah. Of course, I will have to put a switch here, so I'm just trying to make a connection with any ground pin. Let's see. Yes, yeah, I can't seem to hold it in place. But anyway, we got the idea. It is working, so now I will solder this wire to a switch. And whenever I want to use it, I will just switch on the pin to connect with the ground. And now let's mark and cut the case like this. And something like this, and we're gonna solder this wire here, and we'll see how we will make this to stay as flat as possible. So I've soldered the switch, the USB host switch, and now what I'm going to do, the last thing, I'm going to put some hot glue here to hold it in place, make sure it doesn't move, and then I'll put some plastic cover on top of it, as well as some covers here and here to cover the broken glass. So finally everything is complete. I cut a piece of 3D printed plastic that I printed some time ago. I put it here, fix it in place. Also I cut here a little bit because when I plug in a cable it didn't go all the way through because of this. And basically, yeah, and here I put also some blue 3D printed plastic that I made some time ago. Also when I cut here, I almost cut the stand, but fortunately nothing happened, so the stand is still there, still working. So now I'll do the final touch up, which is this one. Okay, and let's turn it on and let's give it a test. Okay, so now if we toggle the switch, the app should start, and here we go. This means that the device is working basically, and now what we need to do is just connect some HDMI device to it. So of course, let's try again to connect our small Windows laptop. So here we are on my YouTube channel. So let's connect the HDMI. Unfortunately, I only have this 3 meters long HDMI cable at hand right now, so it's okay, it should work. So we connect one end to there and one end to here, like this. Let's reset it. And there we have it. So let's try to play something. Let's try this one. My internet connection is not very well, it's not the best here in the basement. But anyway, let's see. As you can see, there is absolutely no lag. I'm very surprised on how good this thing actually is. Even, yeah, the video doesn't start because of the internet, but as you can see, it is in screen mirror mode, so you can see it's actually no lag at all. So let's see if we will select the other screen modes. Let's try to display only on the phone. Let's try show only on 2. So now the laptop display is off, and the small computer display is off, and only the phone is showing. And I'm trying to touch the screen, but actually the touch screen is here. I don't know if you can hear. Also, the speaker is the phone speaker, so there is also the sound. Actually, my video started. So it's not just a display, it's also it has a speaker. It uses the phone speaker. So this is very nice mode. Basically, you have a portable HDMI display with built-in speaker, and not only that, but also it has here headphone jack, which is something you cannot take for granted nowadays. So let's try with another device. I will bring my cable and I'll try to connect my phone, my S24 Ultra, to the screen. Let's see how it will be. So here I'll connect my S24 Ultra with this cable, and this is a Type-C to HDMI cable, and let's connect it here like this. It doesn't go all the way through, so we're gonna see if it will work. And let's turn it on, and there we go, Samsung DeX. I launched my Linux Debian, which I'm using on the phone always. So yeah, let's try. Let's try YouTube. Maybe it will be faster than on the small computer. And yes. Now I'm going to plug in a card and install games, and let's see what can we play on it. Alright, so I put an SD card. It's working perfectly. Let's test it with another device. So we'll go upstairs and we'll connect it to the PlayStation 3. So we have here my good old PlayStation 3. Let's power it on. It was modded to run the fan at maximum speed to prevent the yellow light of death. That's why it makes so much noise. And there we go. It's working perfectly. Now you can play PlayStation 3 on a less than 5-inch LCD. Let's try to actually open a game. The noise of the fan is so loud that you can barely hear the sound, but it has sound.
Put things in order right up to this point. I have to say, I'm wrong again. I just as well start again.
So yeah, there we go. The project is successful. It's actually better than I was expecting to be. The speed is very nice. There is also sound, and also because we're using a phone, actually we can record the video if we want to. There was an option here. I'm not really sure where it was, but video format. Yeah, this is if you want to save a file. So actually you got more than just a screen. There is a screen with speaker and also with recording option. So this can be basically used for debugging if you want to take it with you to test a computer, or it can be used for one of those very small computers that don't have a screen, or for a broken laptop that doesn't have also the display. So yeah, it can be used for anything. I did some research and I found there are like very small HDMI displays, but they cost around $70 and they don't have a built-in battery. They don't have nothing. They are mostly for those Raspberry Pi projects. And by the way, this one can be used with no problem for any Raspberry Pi, since Raspberry Pi has HDMI, so it can be used for a lot of Raspberry Pi projects. So yeah, there we go. Thanks a lot for watching and see you in the next video.